What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tiny Tyler, and in today's video we are talking Lanterns. The season 1 episode 1 premiere was last night at the time of recording, so we're gonna get into it. So spoiler warning ahead if you haven't seen yet. Obviously, I think it's obvious, I'm gonna be talking about the episode. We're gonna dive into it all, so there will almost definitely be spoilers. With that out of the way, you have been warned. Let's get into it, and I'm just gonna start this by saying that I did not have expectations for this show. Like, I want to see James Gunn's DCU thrive, because it would be so cool to see a DC universe finally flourish. I mean, we had like the Arrowverse back in like the 2010s, but it was missing Batman, Superman, and Green Lantern, and there was some weirdness to it. I loved it, but there was some weirdness to it. So like, yeah, I really want to see the DCU thrive. But yeah, I didn't really have much expectations. And then I watched last night's episode, and it was fucking awesome. Like, I am going into last night, I was just like, cool, another show to watch, superhero related, love this shit. But now I'm like, I'm fucking pumped for this season. I am so fucking excited to watch the rest of season 1. And so, yeah, I don't know if that is any indication on where this is going to go. I enjoyed the episode, and I can't wait to talk about this more. And just to give you guys some context, I don't have much of a history with the Green Lantern, whether it's John Stewart, Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Corps, Guy Gardner, I don't have much of a history. Like, I know of them. I've watched DC animated series when I was a kid, so I knew of Hal Jordan and John Stewart, but I didn't really know the mythology behind the Green Lantern Corps. And from what I can gather, from what I've heard, it sounds like it's really rich. So I'm excited for this, but I didn't have much of that. Some DC animated stuff when I was younger, and then the Green Lantern film with Ryan Reynolds and whatnot, and then the little hint of John Diggle becoming Green Lantern back when the Arrowverse ended. Outside of that, again, nothing really. So I also don't have those kind of expectations going into this. So with that all out of the way, let's dive more into what actually happened in the episode. And I'm just going to start with the end, actually, and say, is Hal Jordan actually dead? I don't know. The impression I'm getting is he's actually dead, but I don't know. I don't feel like I have enough information to make an actual judgment on that call, but he looks fucking dead. And if he is, it doesn't make any sense, because he's supposed to be one of the main characters. And, of course, the way they're telling the story by jumping between 2016 and 2026, it'll give them the opportunity to still show him. And then even some of the things he said in there, to John, we won't get this ring until I'm fucking dead. Things like that. Okay, so maybe he legitimately has to die in order for John Stewart to get the ring, which actually does beg a question for me, for more of the comic book Green Lantern fans out there. If I remember correctly, the DC animated content I watched when I was younger, both of them existed with rings within the Justice League. Maybe they cover different sectors, but they both had rings. So, I mean, I'm interpreting that as maybe the DCU is just kind of changing the mythos a little bit for the story they're telling. Is that a thing in the comics? Can only one of them have a ring at one time? I thought that was interesting. But anyway, so Hal being dead, I don't know. I don't feel like I have enough information to make a judgment, because it seems a little premature to actually kill him. It's great for the story they're telling, but I don't know. I just feel like you can't kill him right away unless they really don't want him to come back in season 2. I mean, they do have Guy Gardner already established in the DCU, and if John Stewart is the guy that they're going to go with as Green Lantern long term, which would make sense, he's younger, then you can kill him. But I don't know. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Do you think he's actually dead? The ring will resurrect him? I don't even know the power. I know he can will things into existence via the ring. But anyway, him being dead thing is really interesting. But that aside, I personally already love the way they're establishing the tone of the show. I've heard people say it's supposed to be kind of a True Detective thing. I've never watched True Detective, so I'm not going to judge it based off of that. But it feels very grounded. Meanwhile, simultaneously, they are planting the seeds for the cosmic side of the Green Lanterns to come to fruition down the road. I don't know. I mean, because they're already talking aliens, I could totally see some more of the cosmic side of the Green Lanterns coming into play towards the back end of the season. But I feel like if they continue this show and DCU continues and all these things, I feel like maybe season 2 is where they would start to explore the cosmic side of it a lot more, especially because assuming John Stewart is our Green Lantern moving forward, Guy Gardner aside, he doesn't really have any experience with that stuff. So I feel like they would have to, if they're going to show him evolving as a Green Lantern, they would have to show him going off planet, going to meet the rest of the Green Lantern Corps and whatnot. But again, That's just my take on it. I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. I'm thinking they plant the cosmic seeds. Season 1, show a little bit more, obviously the alien shit, more of the Green Lantern, like the ring stuff. Then season 2 is where they get into more of like the actual like deep richness of the cosmic side of the cosmos with the Green Lantern Corps. That's just my thoughts right now, but I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Any theories, any hopes that you want to see, maybe any comic book runs that you're hoping they're pulling from here? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments down below. Like, the relationships between Hal and Kerry were, like, awesome. I love their bickering, their bantering, the sarcasm. Like, that kind of shit gets me going. It's so humorous. The relationship they're establishing between Hal and Jordan. Wow. Hal and John. The character, like, the qualities that the character of John embody already, I find personally very, I admire it. He's composed, you know, he's contained. Like, it's not that he doesn't have emotions, not that he doesn't have feelings, but he knows when and where to use them. And I love those kinds of characters. I do like the dynamic between Hal and him and John. How, like, Hal is constantly giving him, like, these different tests and shit like that. I don't know. The character of Hal is interesting to me. I'm really... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If he's not dead, I could see there being an expiration date on, now that I'm saying this all out loud, an expiration date on him. The last one is, like, the whole thing with John and Zoe, the Kerry's mother-in-law, right? So, I don't know, I found this interesting because, in my personal opinion, John's character, we don't know enough about him yet. So, I'm going to reserve my opinion to change, but, like, so far, I almost feel like him sleeping with Zoe, without even getting to know her name, it feels out of character for John Stewart. I could be wrong about that, but it just seemed weird. It almost seemed like they just threw that in there to force additional tension later between, wow, I'm already drawing a blank on their last name. The whole family, you know, there was William something. I'm drawing a blank on their last name right now. But, and Zoe, you know, William and Zoe, but it's like, I feel like they wrote that in there just to create more tension between, like, John and Hal and the entire family. I could be wrong about that, but I don't know. It just felt like it was kind of forced in there. Nothing that, like, takes away from the story, because, again, I don't know. I would give this episode, like, a 9 out of 10. Like, I am genuinely shocked by how much I enjoyed it. Because, again, I just thought it was going to be another show I'd flip on and be like, hey, I'll watch it when I have nothing else to do type of deal. But I am genuinely excited about it. And then the last thing I just want to hit on here is the pacing and the time jumps. There's something about this I really like so far. If Hal is dead, it gives us the opportunity to see him and whatnot. But, I don't know, it creates this unique tension in the story that they're telling that I really like. I mean, normally, I feel like time jumps have to be used more intentionally. And not that they're not doing that, but, I don't know. One of the things I like about it is it gives us the word that's coming to mind is prehistoric, but that really isn't the right word. It gives us an idea of what the DCU was like before Superman busted onto the scene, and we kind of got the introduction to the DCU as we now know it. And I think the way they're using the time jumps really leaves a lot of room for a cool story to unfold within it. So I am really curious to see how they utilize that. But all in all, I really like the episode. I like some of the relationships they're already establishing. I can't wait to see where they go with this, some of the aliens and shit. But I'd love to hear from you all. What did you guys think of the episode? Any theories, any hopes or desires that you have for where they take the character of the Green Lantern? Drop your comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all of the YouTube algorithm jazz, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.